situations where you don't know if people can actually hear you or not. A storm
just descended on the RV. So can you guys hear us okay? It's like hailing and pouring down rain. Hello. Let us know.
Wow. Amazing.
So it's a great time to do a YouTube live in the middle of a storm. Like,
yeah.
It was storming earlier today, and then there was blue sky. We're like, okay, cool. And then it returned with a vengeance, and it was back in full force.
Yeah. Please let us know if you can hear us okay over the storm, because it's
pretty loud here. Scott's very scared. We're walking. It's okay. Hi, Molly. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Daniel. Got Troy and Amy. Okay, we both sound good. Thanks, Darren.
Thanks, Darren.
Because it is quite loud in here. So,
yes. So, anyway, hey, everybody. Happy Sunday. Yep. We're coming from a very stormy Western Florida. So we've got a couple things we want to talk about today.
Yeah.
We're gonna go over our 2024 plans. We're gonna talk about those. We're gonna talk about international travel. We're gonna talk about the new RV. And then we're gonna take your questions. So please drop questions in the live chat, and we'll try and answer as many as we can during this hopefully 45 minutes to an hour where you can actually hear us.
Everybody says they can hear us.
If you can hear us okay, I'm amazed, because honestly, it is like really loud in here right now. There is hail hitting the top of the RV, so I'm kind of amazed.
Hi, Amanda.
Cool. Hey, everybody. Okay, so Caitlin.
Yes. Where should we start?
Should we start with 2024?
Yeah, in a nutshell. Let's go for it.
Okay. Oh, you want me to do it? Oh, okay. So this year, 2024, we're going to be talking about, obviously we started the year in Tampa at the Florida RV Super Show, not Tampa RV Super Show. They get mad at you if you say Tampa.
I do that all the time. Yeah. I've gotten better over the years.
Where we hopefully met a lot of you. I think we did actually meet a lot of you that were here. We had an awesome meetup. It was us, Traveling Roberts, Fit RV, at the Winnebago booth during the Florida RV Super Show. That was super awesome. And hopefully a lot of you also got to check out this RV. So we're in the very first Winnebago 24T. It's the 2025 model. And we're going to be trying this one out. I cannot believe if it actually sounds like it.
The storm. So just roll with it.
All right. Amazing. We don't hear the storm. So we're going to be traveling in this RV for several weeks. And going to be exploring around Florida with it. So we won't be getting to test out some of its like cold weather capabilities. Some people have been asking us about that. Unfortunately, it doesn't really get cold enough in Florida.
Well, it's been in the 40s. We've got several people here who are in Florida and know how chilly it has been recently.
Yeah.
We've been in the T now. Tomorrow will mark 2 weeks since we moved in.
Yeah. And we still have a ways to go. But we are right now almost done with our very first destination episode, which is really exciting. So that was Crystal River, right?
Yes.
Okay, I always mess that up because there's 3 sister springs in Crystal River, and so I call it Crystal Springs, and then that's wrong.
So I had come to Crystal River, Florida with one of my best friends back in December, and we did a girls' day here. And I was like, oh my gosh, Howard, like we've got to go back and film an episode because A, there are hundreds of amenities. B, there's amazing seafood. Mm-hmm. C, there's incredible dessert, which we had this afternoon. Like it's just such a fun atmosphere. And there is a brand new, beautiful RV park that we were getting to stay at.
It's a resort.
It's an RV resort.
No, it is. It really is. Yeah.
And so this is shaping up to be an incredible destination episode. We met and interviewed some really awesome people, and the stories that have come out of Crystal River are really, really cool.
I think this is going to be one of our best, honestly, like one of our best destinations that we've done. Oh my goodness, I hadn't actually plugged in the computer.
While you do that, I'll talk about what I did this morning.
I'm so sorry.
That's right there. So this morning I got up at 5 a.m. and hopped on a boat by 6 or 6:30 and went out to go snorkeling with manatees. And I was so nervous because the weather has not been great, and I didn't know if like the visibility would be good enough. If it was going to be raining, and so we got out there, and just as the sun was coming up, I mean, it was cloudy, so it wasn't like a big sunrise or anything. But just as we could see, I get into the water, and there are just dozens, go ahead,
Okay.
dozens of manatees everywhere. And they were so playful, and there were babies and moms, and it was so cool. And I got to show Howard the GoPro footage this morning.
Yep.
And he was like, wow, you got some great stuff. So it's going to be an awesome part of the video.
I am
too.
so excited. I feel like this has like all of those like signature things that we look for a destination episode. It's got awesome activities because you're going to get to see snorkeling with manatees. If the weather holds, we have another activity planned on the water. You're going to get to meet the people who are professional fishermen, and it's the people who go and get all of the stone crab for pretty much the state of Florida. Which is amazing. And we got to meet them, and we got to eat at the restaurant right on the docks. It's absolutely incredible. We got to go behind the scenes, and we got to learn actually how they fish for it, how they harvest it, how they process it, and even got to eat some like literally like fresh, like straight out of the boiler.
Oh my gosh, it was so good, so flavorful.
Amazing.
Yeah, I learned a lot about stone crab. I didn't know, because I grew up in Virginia, right along the Virginia-Maryland border, and so like crabs, blue crabs were a thing, and you just like go crab picking and eat the whole thing. Stone crabs, I had no idea that they're just harvesting the claws, and like the body of the crab stays in the water, and then they grow more claws. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
To learn. Did not know that.
So that's our first destination episode. And then let's see. Oh, also the national parks. We obviously did 34 national parks last year. Which is a lot of national parks. And we've got more this year. So we're going to be returning to our destination episodes, but we're still going to be working towards trying to hit that 51 national park goal. That's the 51 national parks in the lower 48. And we've got plans for I'd say about a dozen, I want to say, for this year, give or take. And so it'll be really exciting. Several parks we have never been to before. Some parks that I've been to a lot. Like, for example, we're going to be doing the Great Smoky Mountains National Park hopefully this year. And that's a park that I grew up in. I went every single year with my family. It was tradition. Like, I feel like a lot of people on the East Coast, it was tradition to go to the Great Smoky Mountains. Frequently. So yeah.
Yeah, the first time I'd ever been was with you. You took me. That was really cool.
So I'm looking forward to going back. I think it'd be really fun.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. If you guys have questions, drop them in. I did see a question about Hot Springs National Park. Says, I went there and didn't see that there was very much to do. Hot Springs is a really interesting national park. We haven't filmed our official episode on that yet, but we have been. We have friends who live there.
Yep.
And it's definitely more of like an urban national park because it's in the city of Hot Springs. And so the like Bathhouse Row is the historic row there, and there are bathhouses still in some of those bathhouses, but like one's a brewery, one's the visitor center. There are some trails that go up like the backside of it to an observatory.
Yes.
They do have a campground.
They do.
So it's just it's probably like a weekend park.
I would say a weekend. It's a weekend visit. To me, so the National Park Service manages not just because there are 63 national parks with the name National Park, the designation National Park, but there are hundreds. I think it's over 400 National Park Service sites. That also includes like national historic sites, national monuments, national seashores. And I feel like Hot Springs really is it's a historic site. Really, it is. So to me, it's a national park, but it's really heavy on the historic element to it. And so, yes, you're getting to see and experience what life was like in this resort town that has been well preserved. Yeah. And you can go into a number of the older bathhouses as Caitlin described. And so you're getting to step back in time. They do have trails, but it's not to the size or scope of some of these larger, more well-known national parks, but definitely worth a visit all the same. Yeah. And so we're looking forward to it, and that's hopefully going to be another one of the parks we're going to be hitting this year. Let's see.
Okay, somebody asked, do we get a tour of the T? Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. Right now?
At this moment. Oh. But we will have a video about the T and kind of doing a deeper dive. Because we wanted to be able to live in it for a little bit. so that we felt comfortable with the space and the systems and could talk about how we're using the space.
Because I think that's a little more valuable, right? I mean, a lot of people will come out with tour videos, right? I mean, there's tour videos from dealerships and people who went to the Florida RV Super Show, but we thought that it would be more beneficial to you all to really see and experience how we live in it. And so how, if you were traveling, even if you weren't full time, even if just for like weekend trips or for extended trips, what is it like actually living in it and how do we actually live in it? And so, we'll be showing that soon.
I will tell you, spoiler alert, we really like living in it.
Oh yeah,
It's been awesome. Like
it really has. It really has. And in fact, I think it's exceeded my expectations as far as what I was. We saw. I don't even remember exactly when it was. It's been a while since we saw the original floor plan, and to really experience it in person. This is definitely one of those things where I don't feel like just the floor plan and the renders or some of the photos that you might have seen really fully do it justice.
No, like I walked in the first time and my reaction, like that was a general, like my jaw dropped. It's beautiful.
A genuine, you mean?
A genuine reaction?
Oh, you said general?
Genuine.
Genuine reaction, yes.
I'm a little tired from that 5 a.m. wake up call with the manatees this morning. But yeah, it was a genuine reaction of just like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. And it has so much floor space. The bathroom and the wardrobe in the bathroom are huge. It's just, I don't know. They did a really good job maximizing all of the space in here because it's the same exact footprint and size as our Navion.
That's right.
So it's just cool to like be in the same length RV, but have a very different use of space and floor plan. And these couches, like the recliners, oh yeah, they're so nice. They're so comfortable.
This is the short Knudsen, Danish. So theater seats, yes. They're powered theater seats that Winnebago has actually filed a patent for these, some patent pending, because they are powered theater seats. They're like those 0G, where they can almost go lay flat. And as they recline, they actually come forward. And so the Murphy bed where we sleep is directly behind them. And so that makes it very unique because these will just simply fold forward and you put the bed down. You don't have to build or move the cushions or anything like that. You've probably seen in other designs where maybe they're not powered. This one's powered, or you have to like basically like rebuild it. So like the back of the couch or something like that has to be like taken out or something like that, and you don't have to do any of that. It's literally like you can go from I'm thinking about sleeping to sleeping in about like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Yes, and Darren, we agree. The color is beautiful.
We love this color. We love this color. I know it's controversial. I am not going to, elephant in the room. It is controversial, this color. But you look at all of the very like high-end automotive, Mercedes, Audi, BMW, all have this color. This is the color. And it really, I think it is beautiful because it's not just that color, but you're also getting copper. There's a lot of copper. The backsplashes in the kitchen are copper. And so you're getting a lot of warmth and it feels really cozy. It feels nice.
Yeah, like I love coming back in here after a day out exploring, and it's just nice to like put your feet up, relax. The kitchen is another thing that I've gotten a lot of questions about. I did a Q&A over on Instagram, I think last week, and the kitchen kept coming up because those of you who either travel in or are familiar with our floor plan, the 24D, the kitchen is almost full length of one wall.
It is.
And I think it's a bit of a misconception. Like until you actually see this kitchen in person, you don't really truly understand how much counter space you have in here. I've made several meals that have like lots of ingredients and lots of bowls and lots of dishes going on. And I've had plenty of space to do all of my prep and cook, and I never felt crammed.
Yeah. And one thing that I'm waiting on some exact measurements back from Winnebago, but my perception based on using a measuring tape is I think this is almost exactly the same amount of counter space as in the D.
We want to measure it because
it's very close. I mean, it might be off by like maybe 6 inches, but it is very, very close. And there is an extension on the side of the sink. So the counter extends on one side. Oh, I'm realizing this little graphic is like right where my hand is. Okay. So I just gotta watch that. But yeah, the counter, what's interesting about this one, it's a V. And so I think if you were to straighten it out, because I measured the total lengths of it, if you straighten it out, I think it's very, very similar to the V.
And there's a couple of things that I really like about this one. In ours, the oven is pretty high.
Mhm.
And I know in some of the newer ones, the oven is much lower, which is also kind of, I think, awkward. This is a perfect height. Like when you're putting things into and out of the oven,
Yeah.
it's just at eye level. It's easy. You don't have to like reach up. You're not bending down. It just works. And same thing with the stove. It's you have like a good workspace and it's easy and it just flows.
And it's a residential. And what I think is really impressive about this is they've added a lot of elements to this to try and make it feel more residential, more home-like. That is a true full-size residential over-the-range convection microwave oven. So it is properly vented to the outside. It has, the venting hood over the range. So when you're cooking on the range, the steam and the smells and everything go into the vent and are exited out the back. There is a true vent on the back of this microwave, which is really cool. So yeah, I'm very impressed with what they've been able to do to kind of bring it up a little bit and make it feel like home, like a residential home. Because I think for a lot of people, the View Navions in particular are kind of that first step, maybe, or people, maybe they're not necessarily RVers. And I mean, for us, it was our first one. I know. I mean, the Navion was our very first RV that we've ever owned. But for a lot of people, though, it does feel like this is kind of something that people gravitate towards. And so the fact that they're trying to make it feel residential, I think is a really awesome move. Like, so kudos to Winnebago for doing that.
The Salty-Medic, I think he said that I like a Murphy bed, more room for activities. The amount of floor space, so the Murphy bed goes away, and this table that our laptop's on right now, that also folds down, and you have an incredible amount of floor space. Scout the other day realized that she had enough room to do zoomies, and she was like running back and forth.
Yeah.
So the dogs love it too.
Yeah, and we will, like I said, we will have a video. We'll have a tour, a dedicated episode where we're doing a tour of the RV because I think you're really going to want to see how this all kind of plays out. One of the big things, particularly with the T, is that even with the slide in, so this is a giant slide all behind us. It runs all the way from the kitchen all the way to the front, and that slide, even when it's in, the Murphy bed can come down and so you don't have to have the slide out in order to have the Murphy bed down, which is a change for the D floor plan like we have. You do have to have the slide out at least halfway in order for it not to hit the bed or the refrigerator. The Murphy bed would come in contact with the refrigerator, whereas on this one, plenty of room because they have really smartly laid this out, and that's also why you have the collapsible table. So instead of having a traditional dinette, you have a collapsible table. That's actually where we're set up right now. And that collapsible table goes down, and that's what allows the bed to come down in that same space. If you had a dinette, you wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah. How are the pups doing? They're great. Scout was a little scared just now from the storm. She's right here. If you move your arm, it's
Okay.
yeah. Scout, you say hi? Yeah. So they're doing good. Piper and Ella are cuddled together over there. So everybody's good. Moving into the new RV, they were a little confused. Ella, out of all of them, adapted the quickest. Ever since she went blind, she has mellowed out in certain areas, and she's just like, whatever. Like, I know my humans are here. I have my food and water, and there's a couch to sleep on. And within 20 minutes, she was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, once she found like a comfortable place to lay down, I mean, she was totally
fine. Yeah.
I just want to give a special shout out to our friends who are on Facebook because this apparently is working because Marco's comment came through on Facebook.
Hey, Marco.
So, hey, people on Facebook, this is for us.
I think we did one other
Did we do one other simulcast like this? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I'm still excited by it. So anyway, Marco's comment came through via Facebook. So if you do comment on the live chat in Facebook, it also comes through here. So Marco asked, does the new RV have the new car smell? It kind of does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It kind of does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's all. But it does. It definitely does. Okay. Should we answer?
Yeah, here's a question.
Okay. So let's see. Of the Winnebago View Itasca models, do you have a favorite for couples that have to work full time from the RV? Excellent question. We work full time from the RV, and a lot of people are somewhat new to our channel. We actually have basically two full-time jobs, because we have our full-time job by day, because we do marketing and communications by day, and then we also have the YouTube channel. So we work a lot. So we basically now have like two full-time jobs. And what I would say is, I think the D floor plan with the Murphy bed is fantastic. We've lived in that for over 5 years now. And we love it. And I think it is absolutely conducive to working from the road. I particularly like the dinette setup and using that as a desk, as an office area. The tea has actually been great too. Because we're figuring out now that like one of us can actually work from the couch.
Because there's a little table that pops into this, and then it swivels around, so you do have the ability to have like a little workstation right there.
And it's fine. And like that's where I generally work from. And then Caitlin will work from the it's not a dinette, it's from the
table.
The table. We're trying to work on what to call things.
I mean, it's the collapsible table.
Yeah. Yeah. The table.
I think the best thing to do, if you are shopping around, go to dealerships and feel them, walk in them, sit in them, see what feels good for you guys. If there are any upcoming RV shows in your area, like try to go to an RV show, because you can see a bunch of different things and you can really start to envision what your life would be like in it and how you would work from it and use the space. When we did end up buying our Navion back in 2018, I tell people all the time, like that was the first one. We had looked at hundreds of different RVs.
Yes.
All different classes, everything. And that was the first one I walked into, and it truly was like the light bulb moment. I was like, we could live in this and we could work in this and we would have ample amount of space. So just try to see what feels good for you and what your travel style and your work style would be.
Yeah, I think it is critically important, in my opinion, to see and touch and get a good understanding of the RV, particularly if you have specific needs like that. And I would come to the show with that list of needs. Obviously we can give you our recommendations, but our recommendations aren't perfect probably for you. I would say though, again, like from a floor plan perspective, the D certainly, I think the T, yes. Stay tuned. There are more new floor plans coming for View Navion this year. My eye is winking, and we will be trying those out. So, yeah, there are some that also I think would be very conducive to working full time on the road.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all we can say right
now. Which national park visit are you most looking forward to this year?
Ooh.
That I guess we could combine with, there was another question about Kings Canyon and Sequoia.
That is on the list.
I am looking forward to going to those. We did not get to do those last year. They had a really bad winter, the winter prior to our trip. The winter of 22. 22 into 23.
They had road damage. The main road that snakes between, I think, the two parks, because Kings Canyon and Sequoia are they're two separate parks, but they're operated as one. And there was significant road damage. And we were hoping that they would be able to expedite some of that work. And in the end, we missed the window of time where we would be able to go there. And so we had to exit California to try and not salvage, but try and
still hit as many
parks as we could. Yeah. Salvage was too aggressive of a word. I didn't really mean to say like, oh, like this is a disaster. Like our trip is ruined. Our trip wasn't ruined. It was just,
we couldn't wait around.
We could not wait any longer. I mean, we really spent as much time as we possibly could on the West Coast waiting for specific parks like Yosemite to reopen and to be available for us to film in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some other ones that we're looking forward to?
North Cascades. I really want to hit North Cascades.
Right. We've been there briefly. When we were on our way up to Alaska in 2021, we ended up visiting North Cascades, and we did one hike. They actually have a really nice dog-friendly trail. So we did one hike and kind of drove through the park, and that was it.
Yep.
So we got a little taste of North Cascades. This year when we were in that area, they had major wildfires and the park was closed for a very long time.
Yes.
So yeah, we're hoping to check that one off this year and actually make a video on it and redo it.
There are certainly ones that like there was well, like Wind Cave. We were at Wind Cave, and Wind Cave, unfortunately their elevator went out.
Oh yeah.
And so
like we had the permit to film there. We had like talked to them and everything. We had a whole game plan for the park. And then I think it was a few days before we were supposed to come and they emailed us and they're like, so the elevator's down.
The elevator's down. You can wait for it. We don't know when it's going to reopen, kind of thing. So yeah, that definitely put a big damper.
And then what else? We got Voyagers and Isle Royale.
Isle Royale. Yep. We have Indiana Dunes. We have Cuyahoga in Ohio, my home state. We're excited to I know we're kind of jumping around a little bit,
There's so many things.
I do want to talk about that. Our goal is to return back and do some hometown series. I think that'd be really fun. Like people a lot of people have found us because of these larger series that we do. Like we did a really big one for Maine. And so we thought that this year it could be fun to do one where we go back to our home states and it's all about our home states. So she's from Virginia, I'm from Ohio. So we're going to do a series about Ohio and hit up not just the national park there, but also like some of the big cities, some of the small cities and towns, and really get to explore and share what makes our home states so cool.
Yeah, because it was funny, once we hit the road, we ventured out to places we had never been before. But there are so many good things like right in our backyard, so
Absolutely.
to speak. So I think it'll be really fun to kind of return home after 5.5 years of full-time travel.
Yep.
And showcase some of those special spots and places to us.
Yeah, I think
we're both
really cool.
you're from Cincinnati, which is a river city.
It is.
And then I spent much of my adult life up until RV life in Richmond, Virginia, which is also a river city and has like a very vibrant food scene and arts and culture and history and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be cool to do, like Cincinnati and Richmond as well.
I think it'd be a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Both very like vibrant river cities.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, so that's kind of wow, that was a really roundabout way of talking about some of that stuff. But yes, we are really excited for a number of the national parks that we're going to be hitting this year.
Yeah.
Also the hometown series. Should we talk about international travel?
Sure.
So let's talk about international travel. So this year, in 2023 is when we launched sales for our 2024 group trips.
Several of you here are going on.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of you in here who are going to. So our kickoff was Iceland. The first Iceland trip sold out in 2 hours. So we have launched a second, and actually let me put that up on the screen because you do not want to miss Iceland this year, and I'm going to tell you why. Iceland is one of the best places to see the Northern Lights in the world. And this year, it is forecast to be one of the best years ever to see the Northern Lights. So if you want to see the Northern Lights with these people and have a great time, a lot of people have been asking us, well, wintertime in Iceland, is that really cold? It's actually not as cold as you think. In fact, they're pretty much right on par with a lot of the East Coast major cities, New York, Boston, things like that. The weather is not that much colder.
Especially the time we're going. So we are going in early December. It's December 3rd through 9th. And we did a lot of research to try to figure out what the best time was. That they do start to get snow at that time, but it's not miserable and it's not awful. From what we've been reading, I follow a lot of people who live there. I had a friend who went there around Christmas time, which was a little bit later than we're going. And she was like, it wasn't as cold as I was expecting. Like, yes, it was cold, but she said it's a bucket list trip to see it in the winter and just incredibly beautiful.
Yeah. The other thing to keep in mind too is that this is a itinerary designed for winter. We are not doing long hikes. Mm-hmm. We are not doing major outdoor lengthy activities. So a lot of it's going to be like kind of on and off of a bus, because we're going to have a bus for a van.
It's only 14. There's only 14 spots.
It's limited. This one is one of the smallest tours that we'll be doing. So anyway, there's 14 people on it is a van.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like a big van.
It's a passenger van.
It's a passenger. Yeah. Anyway, but so because of that, because of the weather, a lot of it's hop on, hop off, hop on, hop off. As we're doing a number of these activities, there are 17 activities for this itinerary, and because of the short window of time of daylight, we have a much better opportunity as well for northern lights earlier in the evening. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity to see northern lights. And so yes, I'm so excited for that one. And if you are worried about from a FOMO standpoint, that's where to book right there. Yeah, so it's on sale now. There are early bird. It's $200 off for the early bird. There are 8 total. No, I'm sorry. There are 6 remaining. Right, there are now 6 remaining spots for early bird, and then there are only 14 total spots for Iceland. And then after Iceland is Christmas
We've
market.
got several.
I know.
Shout out to the Christmas market crew.
Christmas markets. Christmas markets is almost sold out. If you are considering going, you really should be. I should have put text for this one. I'm sorry, I didn't. Wah, wah. I didn't. But Christmas markets. If you go to newstatenomads.com/Christmas markets, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think we kept it simple.
I believe it's Christmas markets. Yes. If you go to newstatenomads.com/group trips,
all the trips are there.
All the trips are listed there, including the Christmas markets.
Yeah, there's only a couple of spots left on Christmas market.
Yeah.
That's going to be a very fun and festive.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Very fun. I'm so excited for this. I hope this becomes something where every year we go to a Christmas market.
And take a group of people. Yes. Yeah.
We love doing Christmas stuff. In fact, it's one of our most popular series that we did was Christmas in the South. We did that like several years ago for 2 consecutive years where we did different cities in the South and about how they, the traditions and the lights, but also like the culture, the local stuff that makes it so cool. And imagine going to Europe and experiencing the Christmas markets there. So it's no surprise that it's almost sold out.
Oh, the Glühwein.
Yes, which is kind of like mulled wine if you haven't had it before. Somebody, by the way, speaking of wine, that wine bottle, somebody was asking us which one it is. It's the Coppola Winery.
Molly was asking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
The 2021 Claret. It's from Costco.
Yeah.
It's good.
We're not sponsored by them, but hey.
No, we got a wine spot.
Francis, I mean, one filmmaker to another. You're obviously a much bigger filmmaker than I am. Hey, feel free to send us wines.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, so that is for 2024. Those will be all the trips for 2024. Now 2025, because I think one of the first questions we had was about South Africa. Yes, we do know where we're going in South Africa. It's the Kruger National Park. Most of the tour is centered around the area around Kruger National Park, and there are multiple safaris,
game drives.
That's
what they're called. But yeah, I mean, it's a safari. So we'll go out into Kruger National Park in the morning, in the evening, and then there's a day one you can opt into as well, in search of all the amazing animals in Africa, the big 5, which with my tired manatee brain right now, I can't list off, but things like lions and elephants,
yes,
and buffalo
and giraffes,
zebras, all of that. I'm so excited. So that's going to be an amazing trip, and we will be launching, like, that one will go on sale in a couple of months.
Yeah, so I would say if you're a navigator, because Newstate navigators get first crack at the trips. If you're a navigator, look, I want to say maybe in April. So start planning around that time. April of this year.
Yeah, so we want to get
booking for May of 2025.
Yeah, we want to give everybody ample amount of time to book that one. It's going to be it's a bucket list trip. I mean, all the ones we're doing, they're all bucket list trips.
Absolutely.
So,
and that's not our only trip that we're planning for 2025. We have more.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out the 2025 schedule. So if there are places that you want to go with us, let us know.
Yeah,
we're trying to figure
actually, Caitlin, they can still fill out the survey.
Yeah.
There is this survey. If you go here, newstatenomads.com/travel survey, fill out the survey if you haven't already. If there's a place that you want to go around the world with us, fill that out. And because we do take that into strong consideration, the survey results are how we determined that Iceland apparently was where everybody wanted to go, which was just amazing. I mean, we were excited for Iceland, but you guys were really excited for Iceland.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. All right.
Okay, so there was another question. Do you have plans to do a video on Disney World or any other theme parks?
Ooh, I would love that.
I think some of you know, so we talked about it. I think we talk about it when we do lives or if people ask how we met. Howard and I met opening a roller coaster. So we both love
amusement parks, theme parks. And
we've
Disney.
I used to
work for Disney.
I don't know. Would you guys like a video from us? I feel like it's such a saturated market. Like there are people who are experts on all things Disney.
True.
And like I mean, you know a lot more about Disney than I do. I could just go and be like, oh my gosh, the food's amazing. I love this ride. Like the ambiance is beautiful. But I feel like there are people who do Disney episodes so well.
I know. I would want to do it right, and I feel like there are lots of people who do it really well. Maybe we can find one of them and they can like take us around or something.
Yeah.
Something where like I don't pretend to be an expert on all things Disney. And that does feel like the kind of place. Are you?
Yeah, I just wanted my water.
But yeah, we would certainly I'd be down for it. I would want to do it right. I'd want to do it right. That's what I would say about it.
We do want to do an episode, or planning to do an episode.
Oh yes.
On other things to do in Orlando besides the parks, because there are like some really neat things.
Oh, amazing things!
Orlando.
I lived in Orlando for a while, and
there's
multiple times actually.
There's this beer spa which looks really cool. Remember I showed you?
Yes.
So there's like, these kind of eclectic things that we want to go do and showcase. So that is on our list during our time in Florida. But I think we can explore that if you guys want to see Disney videos.
To give you an idea of
or Universal or
some of the destinations that are coming up. Crystal River is our first one. We have plans for St. Augustine.
Mm-hmm.
We have plans for Ormond Beach, which Ormond Beach I don't feel like gets a lot of love, and that's really sad because we really like Ormond Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Tarpon Springs, we're working on a Tarpon Springs plan now.
Oh, and Silver Spring State Park we're going to, I just found out that there are monkeys there. And I was showing Howard a video like right before the live. I was like, "Look at all these monkeys!" He's like,
and I was like, "Yeah."
No, look.
She's like, "No, look at how many monkeys there are like on the screen right now." And I was like, "Yeah, I see it. I see the monkeys. I see the monkeys."
I didn't know there were monkeys there until a couple days ago. So yeah, we have some fun episodes coming up that I'm excited about filming.
I love that. Like, literally, there's just a comment that says "Kings Island!" exclamation point. Yes. I mean, we definitely know people at that park. That is for sure.
Where you worked out.
I know. I mean, that was literally my main office where I worked out at when I worked for Cedar Fair was on the campus of Kings Island. So,
and I worked at the sister park in Virginia, which is King's Dominion, and they both have replica Eiffel Towers.
That's true. Well, they were built roughly around the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sanibel Island. Yes.
Yeah, that's still on our list too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a lot of hopes and dreams for Florida.
That was
like Florida is a lot of people. We've been to Florida Keys, of course, and we lived in Miami. We've done Clearwater, St. Pete. We haven't done a Tampa, and we haven't done Orlando. We've done Jacksonville twice.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of Florida out there,
and a lot of variety.
Like
you don't just have to go to the beaches or to the theme parks. Like there's a lot of other cool stuff around to do.
Yeah.
So
I think it'd be a lot of fun. I love this comment behind this. See, okay, so it's interesting that I apologize because your name is not coming through, but
she posted it earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes stuff, the train stuff is open to explore Disney Anaheim. That's true. Yeah, I mean, there are definitely things. See, because that is 100% right. The way I would want to do something unexpected and different and a unique perspective on going to the theme parks, as opposed to just saying like, "Hey, here's our favorite ride. Hey, here's a great restaurant." because I feel like there's a lot of people who do a really great job with thorough coverage of the theme parks, particularly in Florida and Southern California. But what would be a different spin? That would be what I would want to be trying to focus on.
Cheryl said that there's lots of strawberry farms to visit, and that strawberry season is only around for another month.
Yes,
I didn't know it was
that
only
is
another
true.
month.
When is the strawberry
I know there's a big
festival?
strawberry festival. Let me look that up.
There's one in Florida. Yeah.
It's like, I think it's just outside of Tampa.
Is it in Lakeland, maybe?
Or Plant City?
Maybe.
I don't know.
If you guys know, no, there is a strawberry festival. There's a strawberry festival though.
Plant City.
It is Plant City.
Yeah. Woo.
There it is. First week in March.
That's right.
Dang, good job.
I don't know how I knew that.
Plant City used to be the home of the Cincinnati Reds, their spring training. And so I used to go frequently to Plant City because I'm a big Reds fan. I had season tickets and I lived in California. So I'd fly in to Ohio, go to like 4 games and then fly back out again. I mean, that's how big of a Reds fan I was. So I'm a total homer. I love the Bengals. I love the Reds. That's why the hometown series for me, I'm like, yeah, let's talk all about like my hometown and my home state.
So we've got a hello from Wisconsin. Come check out the Apostle Islands National Lakeshore. It's beautiful in northern Wisconsin. Wisconsin is very much still on our list.
It is.
Not when people ask us, like when we meet people out and they're like, "Oh, you live full time on the road. Have you been to every state yet?" And we're like, "No,
nope. Wisconsin,
North Dakota,
Minnesota, Michigan. There's some big states that we have not been to yet.
Yeah.
It's whittling down. Oh, okay. 229 to 310 is.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Okay,
it's
perfect.
The Strawberry Festival.
Perfect.
Okay. Awesome. Perfect.
Well, we got to remember that.
I know.
Okay. But in answer about Wisconsin, I don't know if it'll be this year. I don't know because I feel like if we're going to try and hit like the national parks as well, Wisconsin doesn't have a national park. They have National Park Service operated sites, like exactly the one you just described. But if we're going to try and hit our national parks in a timely manner, Wisconsin's going to probably have to wait till 25. So I'm sorry. I'll just let you know. We'll see. But that's my best. That's my best guess.
Good.
Let's see. Orlando is my hometown. Oh wait. I always forget you can do this. Here. Orlando is my hometown. Orlando has great places whether Disney or natural places. Crystal River has really nice springs and it's near the Gulf Coast. Yep. Yeah. Homosassa Springs State Park is a must see. Yes, it is. Great points. Yes, Crystal River is awesome.
Yeah, they have several springs in the area, and Three Sisters has a boardwalk that you can walk through, and you can get so close to the manatees, and the water is such a beautiful color, and they're coming up. Power shot some really cool time lapses of them, because they're pretty slow moving. They're just kind of like hanging out in the water, but to see the time lapse, they're all zipping around and stuff. There's so many like hidden gems within Florida. It's a lot more than just the beaches and the theme parks, which are great, which we love.
Absolutely. Yeah. We definitely love theme parks. I mean, it's in our DNA, right? I mean, we that's how we met. It is something that I love going to them, and I will go to, Disney and Universal and SeaWorld and Busch and the Cedar Fair parks, Six Flags.
All the
Hershey Park. I love chocolate. I love eating chocolate before I get on a roller coaster. It's pretty unique, pretty cool. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to think from our list of. I think those were all the major points, right?
Yes. Okay. Oh, we did want to clarify.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
We got some comments. So the video that we put out from the Florida RV Super Show, where we showcased Winnebago's 5 new RVs. Yes. There was a little bit of confusion that those would be the 5 RVs that we were trying out throughout the year. And so we just wanted to clarify that that's not the case.
That is not the case. And
those are great RVs.
And I realized that it was the timing. It was the timing of it because we said, hey, we're going to be trying out a bunch of new RVs this year. And then we released a video that's like, hey, here's 5 new RVs. Well, the T was one of those 5 new RVs. And we thought that it would be really interesting because, again, like a lot of people do tours and like, hey, here's new RVs and such. I thought it'd be interesting for you all if you met the people who actually design these things and make these things, because it is not a faceless organization. It's not Winnebago, the man behind the curtain. It is real people, real RVers who really love designing RVs, and they travel in these RVs, and so we thought it'd be really cool to introduce you to those people. Now the timing was unfortunate because I do feel like everybody was like, oh, these are the 5 that you're going to try in this year, and that is not the case. So we to clarify, we will be only traveling and trying out new Views or Navions this year. And for those of you that don't know, the Winnebago View and the Winnebago Navion are sister RVs. They are identical in every way except the name. Some say that the Navion is more spacious because it has extra letters. Some say that the Navion is not as aerodynamic because of the wind drag from the extra letters. There's a lot of like back and forth that happens with View and Navion owners about what's better. But we all know that the Navion is better. Anyway, we'll be trying out Views and Navions throughout the year, new floor plans. I would love to try a Rebel. I don't think Caitlin, with the dogs and everything, I feel like there's not enough floor space for us, and so I think that would not.
Now, we caravan, like if I was in a View or Navion and then you were in a Rebel and we could like caravan, so the dogs could still have all their space, right, Scout? Right, Scout? Scout says hi, everybody.
Yeah, but that was a great point, Caitlin. Yes, like to clarify, we're trying out different floor plans of View Navion, and Winnebago will be rolling out and announcing in the months to come several new floor plans as well. And so we will try each one out diligently, and you'll be the first to know. You'll be the first to see. Let's see.
Is Congaree National Park on your list this year? I went last year and found it very enjoyable. Tell us what to do. It is on our list, and I did do some research, like preliminarily. There's not really a good place for us to stay around there, from what I found. So that's a challenge, but we are planning to go and cross it off the list. And it looks like kayaking is probably a big thing.
Yes, I'm trying to remember because there's the boardwalks and then the kayaking, right? So yeah, we are planning though to do that one. Yes.
Yeah. So if like you found stuff that was, I don't know, cool and like that we should feature, let us know what we should do.
Yeah. Let's see. So should we go back to questions again?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna
I
go
think we've got like maybe about 10 minutes left. So
yeah, if you have any questions, burning questions, burning questions. Also remember, if you really, really, really want to make sure your question gets answered, always remember the super chats as well, because that'll put it up at the top.
So love your channel. You need your own network TV show.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's see.
Scout is the real star of the show. She says she's ready for her close up.
Traveling cat photos. Renting a Navion this summer. What miles per gallon should we expect realistically? That is a great question. If you want to, I know you asked this like quite some time ago.
If you're still on,
pop a message. Just let us know what floor plan. If you know what floor plan it is, and I can give you maybe a little bit of guidance on that. But generally speaking, if you are not towing, which if you're renting, I'm presuming you're not going to tow, you can probably expect somewhere on the low end of like 14 to 16 and on the high end up to 18 miles per gallon. It depends on the terrain, it depends on the wind. It depends on how fast you drive. Like I tend to drive somewhere between like 57 and low 60s, 62-ish. And in that range, that's usually about the range that we get if we're not towing. If you are towing, you're probably in the 14 to 16 range. If you are towing, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. If you're towing, it's 14 to 16. If you're not towing, it's in the higher range, probably 16 to 18 would be reasonable to expect.
And that goes along with another question I had seen about, do we feel like a tow vehicle is necessary? And that goes back to, it's all about your style of travel. Yes. For us, it's very helpful because we can set up the RV, have our workstation set up, the dogs can hang out, and then we can take the tow vehicle out and go explore and film and all that kind of stuff. If you're not working from the road, if you don't have pets, if it is more conducive to your style of travel to not have one, you don't need one in this size RV. Of course, different size RVs, it's going to either be necessary or not. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of like what your comfort level is and how you're traveling.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Amy asked, when you did the Badlands, did you stop in Wall Drug for ice water and a donut? We didn't on this trip. Like when we went to the Badlands and filmed our episode, we didn't. But we had done it we've gone twice.
We've gone twice.
Yeah.
And in fact, we actually did stop this time because we stopped there for lunch.
Oh, we did. But
Yeah.
not when we were in the park. We didn't go back around.
No.
Okay.
But yes, we have definitely had our ice water.
Yeah.
I don't know about the donuts.
Yeah, I got a donut.
You did?
Yeah,
You did?
I did.
Oh. I remember about the food. I mean, I've definitely
I
we've been
definitely
there now
got a
several
donut.
times.
Yeah, and I had a cheeseburger there. So if you don't know what Wall Drug is, it's very eclectic. I don't know, like how would you describe it? Is it an old drugstore?
Yes, it dates back to it was a pharmacy.
And it's in
Wall, South Dakota. And Wall, South Dakota it has become what it is because of Wall Drug. And like Wall Drug it started off as a pharmacy and they had billboards for miles that said free ice water. And so people would stop there for the free ice water along, they were parched, I guess, along their drive along the highway. And then they started to add more roadside attraction stuff. And it has grown today into this monstrosity of a place. It is, there is still a pharmacy there.
Mm-hmm.
There is still a pharmacy there, but like they have multiple restaurants, they have multiple gift shops.
They have a giant like jackalope.
Yeah, they have a jackalope. They have like a petting zoo thing in the back.
There's all kinds of. It's like it's a tourist mecca. It's just like something if you are ever passing through that area, like you have to stop and go see it. It's just very eclectic and entertaining. It's fun. Yeah, it's one of those kinds of places. 45 million billboards. Yeah.
100% true.
It's kind of like south of the border. If you drive, from, is it south of the border between South Carolina and Georgia or North Carolina and South Carolina? I went a million times.
South of the border. It's North Carolina and South Carolina.
Yes. And there are millions of billboards for south of the border.
Yeah.
And it's a very touristy place. I know Scout is so sweet. She's just resting her head on my shoulder. She's such a little lover.
Nick says, so happy you got to swim with the manatees today. Allison and I did that the day before we met you at the Florida RV Super Show. It was unreal and a fantastic experience. So it was great meeting you guys. Great meeting you.
And I'm so glad you got to do it too. It was the audio on the camera is so funny because like I had the GoPro underwater and I was doing it with my best friend and you just hear us like, oh my gosh.
Well, no, it's more like, whoa. And that's everything. And I'm like, we're gonna record voiceover for it, but we might use a little bit of the audio just so you can experience what joy sounds like underwater.
Did you know that the manatees? So you can't approach them, you can't touch them, but if they come up to you and like engage with you, then you can just let it happen. And so you just kind of float on the water. And I got this amazing shot. Like the manatees actually hug you. They take their little flippers and they just wrap them around your arm or your leg and pull in. And then on the back of my wetsuit, I had a zipper like tie. It's like a long kind of like piece of fabric on the zipper. And this baby manatee came up and was chewing on it and pulling me to like clean his teeth. I was like, oh my, being pulled by a manatee. It was the coolest thing.
Let's see. I'm just going through the questions here. Man, there was a lot of discussion about the wine. I didn't even.
There's a lot going on. Troy and Amy asked if we're going to go to the Florida RV Super Show in 2025. Yes.
Yes.
It's a safe bet to say we'll probably always.
I think it's an extremely safe bet that we will be there. Let's see. Comments about Indiana Dunes, Dayton. Come visit us in Dayton. Yes. I'm absolutely.
We have family lives here.
Yeah. Yep. My sister lives there. Let's see. Tony a car.
Like I said, it is incredible. There were several huggers talking about the manatees. It was so cool.
Yeah.
It was so cool. And it wasn't that expensive. I think our tour was like $75. And you got like hot chocolate and fresh donuts when you got out of the water because it was cold. And the tour guides were like incredible. It was worth every penny. It was awesome.
I'm just looking through
Yeah, any last minute questions?
I feel like
before-
we did actually for the first time we did a really good job.
I'm trying to answer.
Yeah, like we've been trying to answer like questions as we go. Okay, bye.
It's their DINNER time. I misspell it because they all know that word HUNGRY is another word that if we accidentally say that, they're like,
Yeah. But they also, you know, a lot of dogs know those words, and they also know words like PARK. Our dogs know BEACH,
oh, that's Piper's favorite.
FLORDRIDA, where we are right now.
Piper.
They know that too. It's their favorite state. They love FLORIDA.
Janet wants to know how we got internet in the national parks. Starlink.
Starlink, it really depends on the national park, and that is something. Wow. See, I feel like there's a need for. So you know, we have our RVing to Alaska guide. We have like our RVing to Mexico guide. I think it's time to do one maybe for national parks. Like we might do some bite-sized national park guides, but some parks actually have very good internet, believe it or not. Like they have, like there's T-Mobile or Verizon or AT&T or US Cellular adjacent to the parks. But historically, yes, like national parks used to be a major outage area. Starlink, man, as long as you have good view of the sky, you have good internet, and it has been a lifesaver for us. We used to, like, because we work full time, we would I would spend a lot of time looking at cell phone or cell coverage maps and looking at the coverage maps, trying to figure out like, is the campsite going to be in or out of a cell phone coverage area? And we still do. We have multiple cell phone companies that we have plans for just to try and guarantee that we're going to have service, or not guarantee, but give us the best chance for service.
Yeah, it used to take us a lot more time to like figure out where we were going to camp based on connectivity.
Yeah.
But Starlink has completely changed that. Like it's kind of just an afterthought now because we know that we always have that as a backup. So
yep.
Yeah. I still want to know what you do with your stickers you buy each park. Mine go in my travel journals. So we have the stickers that we buy that look like the stamps. There's a book that those go in. It's in the Navion right now, so I don't have it to show you, but there's like a particular book. And so we stick them all in there.
Right. And then our magnets go on the magnet board
in the Navion. Yeah.
Yep. Which Winnebago has been so gracious to. They gave us our own magnet board, which is really amazing because it's the one that comes inside the Vista NPF. So the National Park Foundation special editions, like for the Vista, for the Solace, for the Travado, those they have like this magnet board, and so they gave us one of those magnet boards, and so now we have one also for our RV, which is awesome.
Oh, that's cool. So there's an eclipse, like View Navion. It sounds like meetup for the eclipse
in Ohio.
That's cool.
Oh,
that's like one of the places where you can see the
Bill.
eclipse.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I've actually I remember this being in the group, the View Navion rally group. You want to check out? There you go. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that. That where is Dark County? Bill, if you don't mind, tell me like what part of the state, because I know it's running kind of like north of Dayton, the eclipse path. So I'm just curious about where exactly that is.
I think there's been two questions about are we going to be at Margaritaville for RV Unplugged Season 2 rally, and we will not.
We will not because we're going to be on the West Coast.
Right, it's August.
So every July, pretty much in January, it's a safe bet we're in Tampa. In July, it's also a safe bet that we're in Iowa.
Forest City. They do. Yeah. Winnebago has their big rally, Camp Winnebago.
Camp Winnebago. It used to be called Grand National Rally, and now it's called Camp Winnebago. And so we're going to be there, and then we'll be on the West Coast.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, it would, something dramatic would have to happen for us to be all the way on the East Coast, to be in Florida for August. Yeah. So no, we probably won't be there for that, but I'm sure it's gonna be a great time, and I know that a bunch of our friends are gonna be there. So you have a great time.
It'll be awesome. Yeah. Are you guys going? Yeah, we're gonna be doing the Smoky Mountains. I'm not exactly sure when yet, but yes, that is on the list. We had plans to do it in the fall, by the time we got over here to the East Coast, like all of the leaves had fallen, and it just wouldn't have been pretty to showcase such a beautiful national park with it all looking dead.
Yeah, we want to do justice to the parks, right? I mean, we want them to be shown in their best light in the hopefully one of the better seasons for it. And yeah, I mean, particularly for Smoky Mountains, because Smoky Mountains again is like dear to my heart. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't go when all the trees, like all the leaves had fallen.
Oh, we were
There's just
looking,
be barren trees, and we were like,
we want to do it justice.
we'll do it. But yes, the plan is to do that one hopefully this year.
Mhm.
Yeah. We're gonna hit a lot of them this year. It's going to not all of them, not all the remaining 51, but a lot of them
Mhm.
is the plan for this year. Corps of Engineers have fantastic internet service. Yes, I've heard that. I've actually heard that. It's interesting. Yeah, the campgrounds. Have you? Oh, this is this is a great question. Because so have you done the Virgin Islands National Park or have any plans to go?
I would love to.
Yes. The
No, we haven't done it. Yes,
no, we haven't done it. Yeah. The genesis though for this series, this challenge was to try and do all 51 in the lower 48 states. Now we've actually been to more national parks that are not in the lower 48. Like for example, Alaska. We've been to several in Alaska. We've also been to several in Hawaii. And so I it's interesting to actually say this out loud. I'm realizing we don't actually have a number. We don't know
I don't know the actual number.
how many national parks we've been to out of the 63, because there's 63 total, including the Virgin Islands National Park. There's also the one in Guam.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's in the Pacific.
Mhm.
I think it's Guam has a national park as well, a U.S. national park. So yes, I would say yes. Our plan is yes to do that. Will it be this year? Probably not.
American Samoa.
American Samoa. That's it. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, American Samoa is the other one. So yeah, we do have plans to do it. It probably would be a 25 thing though, unless we do a pop out campaign.
Yeah.
Easy. Oh, really?
Oh, that's good to know. Didn't know that. We use that all the time.
We use constantly.
Thank you for that.
Really? I'm gonna look that up now.
Yeah.
I mean, not right now, but I mean, when we get off this call. Yeah. So, you know, okay. Oh, photo walks, greetings from Manhattan Beach. Hey,
Oh, wet Manhattan Beach. Yeah.
Jefferson Graham.
It's wet here in Florida too. And then it sounds like it's wet in California. Like there's just a lot of storms. The storm this morning that came through stretched from Florida all the way up into North Dakota.
Yeah.
It was like very long, very long.
Yeah.
So,
But hey, Jefferson, good to see you. Let's see. Any other
do you want to talk about that one? We did get that question quite a bit.
We did actually. Okay. As quickly as possible, I'll try and talk about what's included with this model. So let's talk about what the Navion has. So our Navion has. Hold on.
I do the math.
I have to do the math really quick.
We love our solar and electrical upgrades that we do on the Navion. Like the Enduro power battery is absolutely incredible.
Fantastic.
Like wonderful company. Yeah, like everything on our Navion is amazing. And it's hard to give that up.
Yeah, whoever gets this Navion is going to be a very, very happy person. So we have 630 amp hours of lithium,
800
watts of solar on our Navion. And we also have a 3,000 watt inverter. We have a high amperage charger. It is fully decked out for off grid. Absolutely. What's interesting is that Winnebago has gone, I believe, pretty aggressive on trying to make stock Winnebagos more off grid friendly. So, for example, this one now the standard is 320 amp hours of lithium, which is a big improvement because lithium was an option prior to the 2025 model, and it was only 210 amp hours, and that was the option. Otherwise, you got lead acid batteries. So now there are no more lead acid batteries. It is only lithium, and the standard is 320 amp hours, and then it has 240 watts of solar on the roof. The solar, I believe there is an option to upgrade from factory, and then there is a massive lithium option for any of them. You can actually delete the generator on the T or any of the forthcoming other floor plans. You can delete the generator, and I believe the total goes to 960 amp hours of lithium, which would be even more than what we have in our current Navion.
Yeah.
And that's an amazing amount of energy that you can tap into.
Yeah, like you can run it.
You can run absolutely anything. And just to be clear, you can run, even with the 320 amp hour lithium, you can run the air conditioner. I've tried it out. You can run every single appliance. You can run everything on here. You just can't run them all at the same time. Now, the system is supposed to also help you with that, where it tries to prioritize power. And so it will turn certain things off in order to allow you to run things. So it's trying not to let you overtax your inverter. But yes, you can in fact run your air conditioning just off of 320 amp hours. Now, it won't run for a long time. It'll certainly run a whole lot longer with the more lithium that you have.
Yeah, the way that the Navion is built out, like that will stay with that Navion, and we'll go to whoever the new owner is at the end of the year. I don't want to talk about it. It's bittersweet. It's bittersweet.
I know. Well, and and keep in mind too that like we're not going to be our plan, I should say, to sell the Navion is not going to really, it's not going to happen until the end of this year.
Just to clarify that a little bit too, because I had some questions about that on Instagram. It was like, why are you waiting until the end of the year to sell your Navion? Well, we still need a place to live. Like the Navion will still be our home throughout the year.
Correct.
Because we're trying several floor plans out throughout the year. So when we're not in one of the RVs that we're trying, we'll be back in our Navion and traveling in that. So we still need a place to live for the remainder of the year.
Right. So we don't yet have a firm plan of when or how much we're going to be pricing the Navion at. Now, I mean, obviously, it has a ton of aftermarket upgrades on it. So, as I said, whoever ends up with our Navion, I think is going to be very happy. So, oh yeah. Well, okay. But the comment right above it said count your magnets, and see that's the thing.
That's the problem.
The problem is that those magnets are only for the tour from last year.
Right. We have like several other national parks outside of.
Like we did Haleakala, for example, in Hawaii.
We've done Wrangell, St. Elias,
Denali.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Kenai Fjords and others in Alaska as well.
What was the hardest hike you did in a national park? I think it was the last hike of the tour last year.
I knew you were going to say that.
Season.
I knew you were going to say that.
Don't you think? It was Old Rag in Shenandoah National Park in Virginia.
I would say it's either Old Rag or Grand Canyon when we did Angels. Not Angels Landing. Bright Angel.
Oh, the Bright Angel Trail, that was hard coming back out. But if we're talking about just the tour, we did Bright Angel Trail in 2020.
True.
So I'm going to go Old Rag.
Yeah, Old Rag was
so
very hard.
Physical, like it's not just your legs, like it is a full body workout.
Yeah,
because you're lifting yourself up and scrambling through rocks and fitting through narrow, like crevices and stuff. It was a very cool, very dynamic, very fun trail. But it was an intense workout. Like
it really
we
was
were sore for days.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that episode, you should check it out.
Yeah.
That is a heck of a hike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good one. Can you hit Nick's right there?
This one?
Yeah, I had to write it down.
38 for us. Just hit. Good job! Yay! That's awesome.
Dry Tortugas is a hard one. That's a hard one. So you got to fly in or you got to take the boat.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
If I were guessing, I think we're in the high 40s. I would guess we're probably somewhere in like the 48, 49 range.
Yeah, I think so too.
Would be my best guess. Yeah.
I did want to this one on screen. Are the pups adjusting and finding their favorite spots? How is the backpack working? So on Instagram and Facebook stories, I had posted this video. We got a dog backpack to try to put Ella in because she's blind and we want to be able to take her. Like we're going to a bunch of state parks here in Florida and they all have like nice little trails and Scout and Piper can go, but we want to be able to take Ella and she can't hike or, it's Florida hiking, so it's flat, but she can't go on these trails in Florida because of all of the
Well, there's too many things that she can run into,
sticks
like
and twigs. And
it's hard. If it was just grassy area, absolutely. Like, and we do take her out like on a leash, and she's very comfortable now walking on a leash, even though she's completely blind. And in fact, she pulls, which is really funny.
Yeah,
Because
she's
like,
like, "Let's
it's
go."
like, where are you going? Like, what can you possibly know as far as what's ahead of you?
So we got this backpack to try out, and the video is hilarious. She's a little bit too big for it. And then she just kept sticking her nose in the corner of it. So I got some really great recommendations from you guys on different ones to try.
Yep.
We might try to put her in it one more time, just kind of like walk around the campground or something.
Yeah.
Part of the reason we thought she would be okay with it, we had put her in like kind of like a duffel bag last fall when we were in Oregon and walked out to the beach, and she laid down in that and fell asleep as we were carrying her and loved it. So there are like sling ones and different things that we can try, but yeah, the backpack, we haven't put her back in it yet. So we might try it one more time, and if it doesn't work, we'll just
the tricky thing in particular with Ella is, so she weighs 25 pounds, and a lot of the slings and stuff are not rated for that kind of weight. And so that's the tricky thing, is like finding one.
She's 25. She's a hefty 25 pounds. So, all right. Well, I think speaking of the dogs, we need to go feed them.
I know.
I can hear them rustling around over there. So,
loving the extended test drive you guys are ready for. Yeah.
Yeah. We're super excited to be trying all of these out, and it's been really fun trying the tea out. So, yeah, we'll have some more content on the tea coming up. I think next weekend, and then the weekend after that will be our first destination episode from Crystal River, Florida.
Yep. And then just a little crawl again.
Yeah,
come to Iceland with us.
Yeah, we have an amazing group going in September.
Yep.
That is sold out.
Yep.
So if Iceland is on your bucket list, come with us in the winter and see the Northern Lights. Again, the forecast for this year is supposed to be like off the charts incredible. All of the solar activity and everything, whatever recipe you need to see the Northern Lights is supposed to be spectacular. So come brave the cold and see all of the winter magic with us.
Definitely. And for those of you on the Christmas Marcus trip or September Iceland, we can't wait to travel with you. And thank you guys for watching.
Yeah,
and we will see you soon. And look for all the great destination episodes coming up. This one in particular, I want to say is like 2 or 3 weeks from now. Crystal River?
I think it's 2. I think it's
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys soon.
Yes. Have a great Sunday evening, and talk to you later. It is Sunday, right?
It is Sunday.
Yes. I had to think about that for a second.
All right.
All right. Bye, guys.